Travel destination bucket lists. Most people have them, and when we're lucky enough to check the top spot off our list, the experience is something you never forget.
This country is just full of an untouched beauty that is hard to come by in our world nowadays without, a Kit Kat wrapper floating by you.
For Jon, David, and myself, this place has always been at the top.
It was just like one of those times where you're just like, yeah, absolutely beautiful.
We've all dreamt of coming here with our cameras to capture the landscapes we've admired for years.
You start to drive down the other side, and you have the feeling you're going to get swallowed by the mountain. It's amazing.
Now we're here, below the ice-covered peaks, along the shores of lakes with surreal colored waters, and sampling the local dishes this place is known for. Salmon belly. Yeah, it doesn't get any fresher than that. As usually happens when your feet hit the dirt of your travel bucket list top spot, what you imagined it would be is replaced by memories of what it actually is.
Unique things. It's kind of like our largest ball of string and the tallest thermometer, and I've never heard of it.
For us, the imagined was great, but the reality of New Zealand was even better.
Right on, buddy. Thank you.
When you travel, the world becomes a smaller place. When you explore with friends that share a love of photography, destinations come to life. We tell the stories of travel with our cameras, capturing some of the most beautiful locations on Earth. But every adventure reveals more than what's in the frame. The people, the food, and unexpected turns of the journey bring the full experience of travel into focus.
Production funding for Outside Beyond the Lens provided by the Fresno Clovis Convention and Visitors Bureau. Nature, diversity, found in the heart of California's San Joaquin Valley. Fresno County, an outside year-round playground. By Gar Titillion, crop care advice, products, and services. Farms feed families, public television feeds minds. By BK Lighting and Teka Illumination, helping brighten the world with custom landscape and architectural lighting solutions. By Integrated Agribusiness Professionals, members building healthy families and communities to feed your heart and soul. And by Valley Air Conditioning and Repair, family-owned for 50 years, proud to support Outside Beyond the Lens and the wonders of travel. And by viewers like you.
Inevitably, there are contrasts to travel. The places that draw us to visit far-off destinations and that decorate our Instagram feeds with picture-perfect settings, #NoFilter, yeah right, compared to the scenes of the grind and grit that international travel usually requires. After 23 hours of flying from Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia, then back to Christchurch on New Zealand's South Island, we learned our luggage was still in LA. That luggage had the clothes that we weren't currently wearing and our heavier camera gear, most importantly our tripods. We were told the airline would deliver our bags in 2 days no matter where we were. So it's time to load up on a rainy, jet-lagged morning and head west to the small village on the shores of Lake Tekapo.
So we're gonna have this first day, this is our first day in Christchurch, and we woke up to rain. So that sucks, because all of our rain gear is in our bags.
The drive from Christchurch to Lake Tekapo is about 3.5 hours, with most of it through the flat, featureless agricultural belt of the South Island's eastern shores. In spite of not having our bags and tripods, we were anxious to see the marquee locations we've been reading about for years. But it's important to remember that a lot of what makes a place special is sometimes found in the places most of us drive by.
A lot of people come to bucket list destinations like this, and they come here to photograph it, whether they have an iPhone or they're a hobbyist with a 5D or whatever. The scenic beauty of these places is what brings people. And South Island of New Zealand is no different. There's beauty in the things and in the places people keep driving by, or they go right on by. It's all about the experience, right? Stopping and noticing things, looking where nobody else is looking, and then capturing that moment. That's what I love about photography.
About 2.5 hours in, the flat ag lands begin to give way to rolling foothills, and it's here we all begin to perk up. The New Zealand we've been waiting our lives to see is here.
Trying to keep the camera still without a tripod. Generally, when you're shooting these type of things, you're going to be shooting with a tripod, but I'm shooting everything in slow-mo to hopefully reduce my shape, and using my body and this piece of concrete to really like post up. And with the image stabilization on the lens, all those things working with me, it's actually pretty good stuff. Shooting at shooting at 200 millimeter.
With the sky starting to break up, we finally arrive at one of the largest lakes on the South Island, Lake Tekapo. This area is known as the Mackenzie Basin, and Lake Tekapo is a popular tourist stop for people beginning to explore the Southern Alps. Before even checking into our hotel for the night, we see a park on the southern shore and hop out of the car to begin filming. Lake Tekapo is about 17 miles long and a max depth of 390 feet. Waters from the outflow of the lake feed 2 hydroelectric plants that supply electricity to a large part of the South Island. Arguably one of the most photographed churches in New Zealand is found here as well. The Church of the Good Shepherd was built in 1935 and draws tourists and photographers from around the world. We've come to New Zealand in mid-March, the end of summer on the southern hemisphere, but still very busy with tourists from around the world. We check into our modest digs for the night and walk to one of the handful of restaurants in this one-horse tourist town. I'll be honest, my expectations for a good meal were a little low based on years of travel to places like this where lack of competition and high volumes of easy-to-please palates abound. But man, was I wrong. A great menu and talented crew at the Lakeside Cafe ended our day right. Grilled lamb loin chop with polenta, salmon with asparagus, and a tasty seafood stew put us all in the right mood.
Wake you up for the afternoon shoot.
That's really good.
There's a good mountain right here that we think.
Back at the room, we've bailed on the idea of driving to Mount Cook tonight. It's just too far and we're too wiped out from getting here to pull it off. Also, the airline has informed us that our bags will be delivered here tomorrow, so we need to post up until then anyway.
Alright, so we're up early on, this is our Saturday morning here on the South Island of New Zealand. We all slept good, right guys? Slept good?
Slept great.
And we woke up to pretty strong winds, a little bit of rain. We've got an hour and a half drive from Lake Tekapo up Highway 8, branches off to Highway 80, and then we're going to take that up the valley to Mount Cook National Park to get the shot, and that's what this is all about, is getting those shots. Sunrise, a lot of amazing things can happen on a sunrise if you're a photographer, and this is part of the drill, so on we go.
Mount Cook National Park is one of the top tourist attractions in New Zealand. Getting an early start not only means we get great light on the drive in, but most of the sightseeing buses won't start running until 9 or 10, and we'll be long gone before the crowds arrive. The drive into Mount Cook is everything we were hoping New Zealand would be. Lake Pukaki is the largest of the alpine lakes in this region and is known for its distinct blue color caused by silt that flows into the lake from the Tasman and Hooker glaciers upstream. As we approach the back end of the valley, the high peaks of the Southern Alps command the landscape, and our first look at Mount Cook is revealed. Mount Cook, named after Captain James Cook, who surveyed these mountains in 1770, but ironically never made any mention of this actual mountain, is 12,218 feet tall, the highest point in all of New Zealand. It's also a popular challenge for mountaineers from around the globe, and a memorial on the short hike we've taken honors those that have died attempting to climb this highly technical peak. The entire experience of visiting Mount Cook National Park is worth the extra time to drive into this glacially carved valley. Waterfalls and enormous hanging flows of ice frame the centerpiece of Mount Cook. On the way back out, with the sun up in a cloud-free sky, the unreal color of Lake Pukaki makes a few more roadside stops a must. After being reunited with our missing luggage back in Tekapo, we set out for a big day of driving. The plan is to head south along the foothills of the Southern Alps and stay in Queenstown for a few days and explore. The great thing about road trips is that you never know what you're going to find around the next corner. And when we see this stop, we know it's worthy of a closer look.
So you're standing at High Country Salmon here in Twizel. It's been here since the year 2000.
So what is this place? What you farm salmon, or is this both a tourist attraction and is it a viable like salmon growing operation?
Yep. So we're both. We're a salmon farm, a commercial salmon farm, and also a tourism operator. So we sell about 40% of our annual production of salmon through our cafe and through our salmon shop here, and then we dispatch all around New Zealand the other 60%.
What kind of salmon are they?
They're Chinook, or commonly known in New Zealand as king salmon. So yeah, in the early 1900s, some keen anglers brought Chinook or king salmon over from the Sacramento River, and now it's a relatively common fish in the South Island of New Zealand. They particularly enjoy sashimi, which is some of our highest valued product, and it just flies out the door. I think in 2018 we sold 1 ton of just sashimi.
That's the belly, that's the good stuff.
Yeah, that's the fattiest, oiliest part, which holds the most omega-3s, which is
Really healthy.
the best. Yep.
Best part for you.
Yep.
Okay, let's try a piece.
And what we do is we just have a wee bit of soy sauce here and a wee bit of wasabi. I'm not a huge fan of wasabi because it's too hot for me.
It's
but
pretty spicy, huh?
I love a bit of soy sauce. So
Yeah, let's do
move it.
that. That's the simple, clean way to do it.
Yeah.
Salmon belly. Great.
Should just melt in your mouth.
It does. It melts.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that, man.
No worries.
The king salmon here are farmed in enclosures along the river. Tourists can feed the salmon and then eat the salmon. From the looks of it, this is a very popular place to grab a roadside sashimi snack. So when does it start slowing down tourism-wise around here?
No.
I don't think it really does it? Because you get like the winter tourists who come and they come for snowboarding, skiing and all that, and then in the summer you just get tourists who want to escape their own winter. So I think it's kind of all year round. Probably spring maybe is the quiet time, right? So maybe September, October is a bit quiet, but pretty much all year round is crazy.
As we push on for Queenstown, the winding road takes us through deep valleys of golden grasses and small towns. The terrain here is similar to California in a lot of ways, without 40 million people driving around. As the sun begins to set on another beautiful day on New Zealand's South Island, we come into the spectacular lakeside village of Queenstown.
Ready?
Queenstown is a tourism hotspot year-round. Several popular ski resorts keep this place bustling in winter, and during the spring, summer, and fall, hiking, sightseeing, and enjoying Queenstown's nightlife make this a pretty happy place.
You guys hammering down.
Sunrise on our third day in New Zealand. Queenstown sits along the shores of massive Lake Wakatipu and is beautifully framed by a mountain group appropriately named the Remarkables. After getting a few local tips last night in town, we've decided to call an audible and forego a few of the more popular locations we'd planned to visit. Everyone we talked to said we had to explore the small village of Glenorchy at the far northern end of Lake Wakatipu. It's about a 30-mile drive from Queenstown up to Glenorchy, and as we finally reach town, the morning fog burns off and reveals why this is a place the locals strongly recommended visiting. Glenorchy is one of those places that is far enough away from the main tourist hotspots that it's not overrun with foreign visitors. In fact, most of the people we saw here were actually New Zealanders on their weekend getaway from larger cities to the east.
This is a beautiful area. No,
It is.
it's totally different than what we were joking. It seems like every 10 miles or 10 clicks you get into a different, it's totally, you go from jungle to desert to glaciers to mountains to flatlands. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was just like one of those times where you're just like,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
That's been our problem. Like, we want to stop every 5 minutes, and it's like, no, we actually have to. We're doing serious miles
At the end of the day, we're getting into some crazy good stuff, and we're out of time.
Then we lose the light. Yeah.
With blue skies above and the crystal clear waters of the lake below us, we take our time driving back to Queenstown. One more local tip we got the night before was to check out a small lake on a turnoff just before getting back to town. A steep, winding road took us up the mountain and into a quaint valley where only a handful of locals were found enjoying the late summer March sun at Moke Lake. Of all the places we visited in New Zealand, this obscure, off-the-beaten-path lake was one of our favorites. The golden hills, clear sky, and remote location of this spot will stay with us for a long time. I always know we've landed somewhere special when each of us wander off to find our own little place to film. We don't really say too much to each other. We just like to separately savor this brief moment in time in this really magical location on this earth, knowing that our time here is short and we'll miss this place long after we leave. Back at our condo that we'd rented for a few nights, it's time to rehab gear, back up footage, and get ready for another long day of driving back to Christchurch. We've decided to take the long way home so we could check out one more lake on the way that is home to one of the most photographed trees on Earth, the Wanaka tree.
Well, we're saying goodbye to Queenstown right now, which is hard to do. That place is pretty awesome. And we are driving, we decided we wanted to take not the same way back in from Christchurch that we took here. So we're taking sort of a detour, which is to go up to Wanaka and Lake Wanaka. So we're gonna do that now. You don't see grades like this in America. The road building standards, I think, are different. But here, big old diesel truck. So if you come here, be ready to white knuckle it a little bit.
The climb up from Queenstown has excellent vistas and places to pull over and enjoy the view. And like most places on Earth that see heavy streams of tourists moving from one attraction to the next, you'll see roadside stops like this. A giant fence made up entirely of bras.
This place is funny. I was cruising over and Jeff was driving, and I'm like, there's a distillery up here, and I was kind of joking because it's still pretty early in the morning, but we pulled off anyways because it's a distillery, and there's kind of this thing set up for breast cancer, but they nicknamed the name of this place is Cardrona, but this area right here they've nicknamed Broadrona or Broadonia. There it is. So, it is a mouthful.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Are you guys gonna check out the bras?
She will leave one here.
You're gonna leave one? Okay, we were wondering if someone was gonna do it. Okay. All right, she's gonna.
She will do that.
That's good fortune though. That's good luck, right?
Could you help us take photo for us?
I will take a photo for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
No. Do.
Let me set it up for you.
Come on. Take photo for her.
Here we go.
Big breast.
That's it right there. Any shreds of self-dignity are now gone. All right. Awesome. Now you're kind of the star of the show here. Now you're actually giving one for the team here. Can we see? Let's see. Hey.
Go.
There.
It's cute. Yeah. It's a
Let's
cute
see you put it on there.
Yeah.
All right. For a good cause. All right. Thumbs up. Yeah. Good, you guys.
Now, there are places around the world that have become Instagram famous for travelers. Must-see destinations for people to grab their version of a place or building or feature that's been photographed and posted millions of times. And here, at Lake Wanaka, on the South Island of New Zealand, the Wanaka tree is such a place. This tree has had its picture posted to social media millions of times, in every season and time of day. For us, it was sort of like meeting a celebrity as we approached the shores of Lake Wanaka on a beautiful late summer morning. And like meeting someone famous for the first time, the anticipation is quickly replaced with the realization that a tree is pretty much a tree. It's just that this tree happens to be sitting in a very special place.
I'm trying to get a slightly different angle to get the video on this. I've leveled out my legs here, and I'm gonna get as low to the water as possible without getting the camera wet.
The mob taking photos definitely distracts from the simple symmetry of the setting. But once we get into our cameras, it's easy to see why this has become such a hot spot for travel photographers. One more quick bite in Wanaka before heading back to Christchurch, 4 hours away. This time, totally legit Mexican food in New Zealand. In fact, we never had a bad meal in this place. It was just the opposite. The food blew us away no matter where we ate. From small delis to full-blown bistros, the culinary experience here was on par with the world-class landscapes. There was a lot of excitement for us preparing to come to New Zealand, and after spending a week here on the South Island, exploring the Southern Alps and scenic lakes, the excitement was replaced with awe and appreciation. If New Zealand is on your bucket list, try to make it happen. For us, it was one of those trips that exceeded the high bar we set before flying down here, and left us with memories and images we'll share for a long time.
heard about summer snow. When it falls on you, your blood runs cold. But don't you sweat your pretty skin, 'cause it melts away for it sinks in.
Production funding for Outside Beyond the Lens provided by the Fresno Clovis Convention and Visitors Bureau. Nature, diversity, found in the heart of California's San Joaquin Valley. Fresno County, an outside year-round playground. By Gar Titillion, crop care advice, products, and services. Farms feed families, public television feeds minds. By BK Lighting and Teka Illumination, helping brighten the world with custom landscape and architectural lighting solutions. By Integrated Agribusiness Professionals, members building healthy families and communities to feed your heart and soul. And by Valley Air Conditioning and Repair, family-owned for 50 years, proud to support Outside Beyond the Lens and the wonders of travel. And by viewers like you.